The latest. Thank you for all love and support. I appreciate you all. It's amazing for us to think that these people are so truthful to their people. It's only the African that has been lied to, and we are living in the dark, not knowing that these people are doing the same thing that they are doing to us. When they try to harm the African, they ended up also harming their people, because they don't want their people to know the truth. According to this white man that spoke, the Africans, we know how we got to wherever that we are. But the Europeans, who are fighting against people migrating into where, need to wake up, because what they are told as to how they got to where they are today is not the case. They only care about how people are moving, crossing their border, coming to take their job. We see the things that they always do to Africans, to other people coming into their country, because they claim that is where they come from. They are the only ones that do not know how they got there, and that is not where they even come from. They have created a narrative, misinforming Africans, making us to believe that here is a living hell. There is nothing here. We have to always move to that side to make a living, when we actually know that we have whatever it takes. So just as they misinformed us, it's the same way they have misinformed their people, and their people are going by that without knowing what is actually happening. As they keep doing that to us, they keep doing that to their people. You know, you have to put people in a position so that you can control them. You understand?
Ourselves about how we got here and for what reason. See, black folks know why they're here. Native peoples know why they're here and how they got here. A lot of Asian folk know, particularly if they're Chinese American, they know they got here because their ancestors were brought over to work on the railroads by the railroad barons who didn't care if thousands of them died laying track 19, 20 hours a day. But for those of us who are from Europe, we have this fiction that we've told, and we believe it, even though there's no truth to it. You know what the fiction is? It's two parts. Number one, we say things like, with regard to Mexicans coming over the border, with regard to immigrants coming over, but only that border. That's the only one we care about, right? The southern border. I find that interesting. We're not flipping out about Canada, right? We don't have any of the Minutemen or the anti-immigrant groups sitting off the coast of Nova Scotia with a gun and a scope, trying to like pick off the sneaky Canadians that are trying to sneak in here for our superior healthcare system, which after all would be a pretty stupid thing to do. But in any event, we only care about that one border, forgetting for a minute that that border was created at the end of a war that was started on false pretense by this country, after which we jacked half of their country. And you weren't taught that in school either, because our history books aren't interested in telling the truth. They tell this very patriotic history that has no relationship to the fact. So that border is artificial. Mexican folk who are coming here, documented or not, let's be clear, are coming home. Border is artificial. Mexican folk who are coming here, documented or not, let's be clear, are coming home. Their families were here before our families were here in almost every instance. But we forget that, and then we say things like, well, I don't mind them coming. I just want them to come legally like my people did. The hell does that even mean? Come legally? There was no law to break when our people came. The fact that we didn't break a law that didn't even exist, you don't get cookies for that. You don't get like a pat on the back and a gold star because your great whatever was law-abiding when there was no law that he could have violated, even if he wanted to. But we've told this lie that we came for these upstanding principles. So we'll say things like, well, you know, our people came for liberty and freedom, democracy. These people are just coming for stuff. They're just coming for jobs. They're just coming for health care. They're just coming for stuff. We came for high-minded principle, right? Because we believe that. What kind of third-grade version of American history is that, right? Like when Donald Trump says, well, Mexico's not sending their best. What the hell, you think Europe sent their best? Europe? No, our people were the losers of Europe. I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm just telling you the truth. Like, our people were the losers of Europe. The winners didn't get on the boat. You understand what I'm saying? The winners didn't leave. Why the hell would you leave if you were winning? Only the losers left because they had no choice. No, our people were the losers of Europe. I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm just telling you the truth. Like, our people were the losers of Europe. The winners didn't get on the boat. You understand what I'm saying? The winners didn't leave. Why the hell would you leave if you were winning? Only the losers left because they had no choice. They were dying. They were starving. They couldn't support their families. A lot of them were convicts who were sold into indentured servitude to work for rich European people. They were barely above the level of a slave themselves. The idea that we had these we didn't believe in liberty and freedom. And we know that because once we got to the colonies, we set up the opposite of liberty and freedom. And I don't just mean that for like black folks and native folks. I mean even for other white folks. Like we spent most of the time in the early colonies trying to figure out who the witch was, right? It was like, well, you're not a Christian. Well, no, you're not a Christian. Well, no, you're not a Christian. I'm going to hang you from a tree. Really? Well, I'm going to drown you in the stream. Well, I'm going to set you on fire. Like that wasn't liberty. The colonies were some of the least free places in the history of the cosmos. But we act like we came for liberty, and they're just here to take advantage. Let's be clear. Our people didn't come for liberty. They came for stuff. They came for stuff like land. They came for stuff like opportunity. They came for stuff like the ability to feed their families, and there's no shame in that. None at all. But just like there's no shame in our families having done that, there's no shame in brown families doing that and coming over that border from Mexico, Central America, wherever else they might be coming. There's no shame in coming over that border from Mexico, Central America, wherever else they might be coming. There's no shame in any event, but we've told a lie. It's like we have this image in our head that sometime in like 1650, this was a common scene in England. All the nice white noblemen got together, and one of them gathered his children around the fireplace in the middle of the 1600s and said, well, now, children, I think you'll agree with me that we're doing quite brilliant here, and we have this big mansion, and we have all this gold, and you remember last week when the king invited us to the palace, and you played out in the garden with his children. I know, it was brilliant, right? It was great. It was great. It was great. I bet it was lots of fun, but Daddy thinks that we need to stop all that nonsense and maybe strike out on an adventure. So here's my plan. Even though we're doing so well, even though we pretty much run the show here in England, I think that what we should do this summer, follow me, stick with me, I know it's going to be a stretch, but I promise it's going to be great, is we should get on a big boat. A rickety old ship. I don't even know if it's seaworthy, children. It might sink. We might be eaten by sharks. We might get hijacked by pirates. We might get scurvy and die a horrible death. However, I think you will agree it will be an adventure, a great one indeed. That did not happen. Noblemen didn't leave. Those who were doing well did not leave. Only the losers got on the boat.
They have to change the narrative, pushing the blame from the leaders to migrants. The people believe that the migrants are the reason to which they are suffering in their countries. But migrants don't take control over your jobs. They don't create them. The people who need to create these jobs are not doing the kind of job that these migrants even do. Some of you will not do that. So why not rise up to face reality, face the people that are causing you harm, just like Africa? The people that are causing us harm, we leave them and we are fighting among ourselves. This is something that we all need to learn from. What we are told is not what it is. We need to be programmed in a way so that they can control us. And we have to all walk on this journey to look for the truth. The truth is what will set us free. People who are creating this mess always cover things up, so they will be free to be doing what they want to do. So you will continue to be fighting against people that are not the problem. This is what all of us need to realize. Africans, our brothers from other places, are not the problem. The leaders alone in Africa are not the problem. The problem is from somewhere. The leaders are serving the interests of other people. What other people want in Africa is what is happening. So we, first of all, as Africans, if we need to break away from this pain, this suffering, this poverty, this hardship, we should be able to fight against that system. When we break away from that system like Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso did, that is when we can have what we want. That is when we can be free. That is when things will change. But until we are able to do that, we'll continue to be living in the lies that they tell us. Instead of us to rise up against the people, we will now be fighting among ourselves, believing in the same system that is used to fight you and I. There are a lot of things that are hidden from us, and we really need to rise up, work hard, find out what is it that is keeping us poor. What is it that is fighting against us? All that we are told Is there any truth in it? So as long as we keep living under their system, we'll continue to be doing things that we understand to ourselves that we are not supposed to do, because the narrative has been changed to please them. People there are fighting other people, fighting over border, claiming we are the reason to which they are not getting whatever in their country. Yet what we are fighting for belongs to somebody. You are not being told how you also got there. We are in information age, and we really need to dig deeper to find out the truth so that we can set ourselves free. So we'll know the right path that we need to take. So we'll be able to set ourselves free. It's only the truth that can help us to be free. Until then, we'll continue to be working, we'll continue to be fighting, we'll continue to be doing all manner of things to ourselves that we need not to do. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world. And in the United States of America,